Today we're going to be starting our Dakota Beaded Looms and our bead designs. Today what you're going to need is a loom. We have cardboard looms that have these notches cut out for the string to go. And you're going to need yarn. To make sure I had enough, I wrapped the yarn around both sides 5 times so that I made sure that I had enough string to create the weft on my loom. Once I have all of my supplies, I want to make sure that I start by writing my name on my loom. All of my 3rd graders are creating these, and without a name, I won't know whose is whose. Make sure that you write your name and your teacher's identifier on your loom so you get yours back. Once you have your loom, your yarn, and your design sheet, we're ready to get started. First thing you're going to need to do is tie a knot. To make a knot, find one end of your yarn, loop the tail end over the top to make a X of yarn. Make sure that the end is on top. Next, pull the end underneath and through the loop. You'll see it looks like a pretzel. Once you have a pretzel, put the loop of the pretzel around one of those notches and pull it tight. To make sure it doesn't come off, make an X again, pull the loop through, and pull it tight. This will keep our loom weft attached. Next, pull your yarn across to the opposite end. Don't pull tight. Keep it loose. You're going to need to put your yarn through one of the notches going down. Now this is important. We're not flipping the board. You're going to take your yarn and pull it to the side and back up. The back side should only have a small amount of yarn on it. The top is going to have our string. Then pull across to the opposite side, making sure you put it in the next notch. Again, loop underneath, pull across to the opposite side, and repeat. You'll need 6 lines of string on the top. Continue to go up and down on each end until you have all 6 pieces attached. Once you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces of string, we need to tie another knot. Again, make your loop. Make sure that your string that's the end is on top of the loop. Pull it through, and before you tighten, wrap it around the notch at the top. Pull the yarn tight. You will not be able to tie a second knot on this one. That's okay, because we're going to start using it for our design. Once you have your loom ready, come and see Miss Ness to get a sewing needle. When you get your needle, you'll need to put it on the end of your yarn. To do this, the best trick is wrap it around your needle and twist until it's tight. Pull it off, and then squish it through the eye of the needle. Once it's through, Pull it so you have a long tail on the side of the needle. Do not tie a knot. This will make it difficult for you to finish the project. Once you have a needle with your yarn attached, start weaving through the strings with the tip of your needle. Start by going under, over, under, over, under, over, all the way across. Repeat this at least 2 more times. Under, over, under, over, under, over. Push the lines together. Don't let it get pulled too tight. You want to be able to see space between each of the yarns. Again, one more time. Under, over, under, over, under, over, all the way across. Remember to push it up together at the start. Next, we're ready to start adding beads. To make sure that this will stay attached at the top, you're going to want to wrap it around your first yarn once. You'll see that you have an attached end now. At this time, you're ready for beads. Start by looking at your first row. You'll notice in my design I have 1, 2 red beads, 1, 2, 3 white beads. I'll need to get my beads out and have 2 red beads and 3 white beads in front of me. And then I'm going to put them on my needle. I notice I need 1 red bead, 1, 2, 3 white beads, and a red bead for that first row. I'll pull them on my needle and pull them all the way across and lay them so they go in between each one of my yarns. This is the tricky part. To make them attach, I'm going to need to make sure that my needle now goes underneath each row of my yarn. So I'm carefully making sure my needle goes underneath each row before I pull my needle through. Double check. If I lift, it should pull up all my strings. Once I'm done, I pull my needle through and push my beads to the top. I'll continue this for each row. I notice my next row, I need a yellow, a red, a white, a red, and a yellow. I'll make sure I have my beads in front before I start threading. I have 2 yellows, 2 reds, and a white. Again, I put them on just like my pattern shows. My yellow, my red, my white, my red, and my yellow. Once I have 5 beads, I pull them on, I spread them out, and I'm going to start pulling my needle underneath each yarn. Take your time. If you make a mistake, we have to pull it out and start that row again. I pull it all the way across and pull tight. I'm going to continue adding rows one at a time until my design is complete. Again, my third row calls for black, yellow, red, yellow, black. I pull them on, spread them out, and go underneath each yarn. My needle should go underneath each row of the weft. Again, I can check it by lifting. If all of my yarn lifts, I know I've done it right. And I pull tight. If I need to attach a new yarn, because my yarn on this side has gotten too short, call Miss Ness over and she'll help you attach a new piece of yarn to your design. Continue going until you have at least 8 rows of your design. If you'd like to do all 15, you are welcome to, but start by adding 1 row at a time. Make sure you ask for help if you get confused or if you need someone to help you. If you notice someone at your table is struggling, make sure you help each other. And as a reminder, put your beads on first in the pattern that matches. Pull all the way down, space them out, and use your needle to go under each row or each layer of the weft. Again, pulling tight each row will make sure your